Hey guys, this is the branch vlog for 0.2.0.9, the game instance one here. It's been a few days since I completed it. It was over the weekend and I had the kids, so I couldn't record it. So I'll just showcase what I've done. Hopefully it won't be too long. It's relatively straightforward, the purpose of this, the topic of this branch. So starting with the bugs as usual. So save file saves hallway location as still protagonist bedroom level. Yeah, I think we already talked about this. This was just a very old bug. As you can see, it's the second thing ever I logged, so it's mostly a historic thing. The issue was with I've rearranged all the windows and now they're a bit out of sync. Let me just get you it. The right blueprints. We want character, that one. Okay, so this has been redesigned. This is what the whole branch is about. A prior version. Maybe I can actually get it to show you the prior version doing this. Let's look at revision. Let's see if it can do it. It might not be able to do it. We want save. Just thinking, how's it done it that way? That's the functions. Okay. This save slot. I don't know if it'll open it actually. Will it open it side by side? I don't think it will. It only opens it through this way. Sorry, I'm sure there is a way to get it to show you the whole difference. Yeah, there's no differences because it's a branch change, I think. Okay, forget that. Let's just show you this way. Right, so this was, let's see, what is it? Get player. Okay, is it location? Or maybe like get player character. There we go, like get location. Get actor location. Not that exactly, it wasn't the location, it was more like get the level, but essentially when it saved it, it was running this before you left the level. So it was going, okay, so that's why it was going the level you're currently in, saved as in the autosave, and the main save instead of the level you're going in. It was like using the one before, like the prior to running the script. Essentially the scripts are running out of sync, and also technically the scripts weren't running out of sync. I was just running something at the wrong time, and that's why it was getting that inconsistency. I'm sure I talked about on the prior branch in a bit more clarity than what I just said there. That wasn't very helpful. Second bug, starting items replicating. Yeah, another historic one. It's fixed. It is not replicating anymore, not any more than it should do. So item, interact now collect, storage master. So I created this myself, if you can believe it or not. And sorry about that, I had to cough. And in this process, there is a generate starting items, and I wired this up. So like this bit is from a tutorial which I talked about ages ago. I referenced it, so you have to go through like the storage branch further down to find that. But then I added in my own extra bits here, and for some reason it was creating duplicates when I was playing it. So I'd open this I'd open this dresser, let's say it had one item in, and then I'd come out of the room and I'd come back and then have two items in, and then come back and have three items in. The issue is here. So I was adding it, but I wasn't checking. I wasn't doing a check. So I believe the issue is, so dresser 1, let's call that dresser 1, has one item. Okay, so you've loaded the level, begin play, great, adds it in. It then was adding it on top of it, and then it was using both of them because it still had the same unique ID. Now, it does a process, well, I did it some time ago. If it's the first time you've been in a level, so level count equals 1, well, great. If it's greater than 1, use the game instance's storage struct and pull the information from there. Because obviously you've been in this room before, so there's already a log of it. If it's not greater than 1, you haven't been in this room before, generate starting items. And then, yeah, then there's just an update container. So if you take something out, it removes it. If you put something in, it adds it. And yeah, that's that one. Can't move on level load. Honestly, no idea what the problem was. It happened about this branch. It must have been I must have needed to like update some collision because I never fixed it. It fixed itself, so that's, I don't know, that's less reassuring than it should be. But it's done. It's not a problem. It's gone. So what else? What else? Does not remember equipment slots between level loads. Yeah, on this bit, let me find it. Equipment. Not that. We want the widgets. I'm going to put these into folders next. Equipment widget version 2. No, sorry, not version 2. That's the next step. Version 1, which is technically a version 2 because I did version 2 work on it, so that's a bit naughty of me. I had this originally, so on pre-construct, set the protagonist, and then from the protagonist, get the game instance. Do I have an example? You know, you drag it from that and you just do like game instance, and then you got like that. And then from the game instance, I'd pull equipped, essentially this class. I pull this class, and that's for weapons, and that's for currently all equipment. And then you go, see, I put it in that weapon slot, the armor slot, and the weapon slot, and all this sort of stuff. It was going out of sync. I was saving that class in the game instance and in the save slot, and I was doing it out of sync. You see, I've deleted a lot of them now. I've gone to Structs, nice and neat. Yeah, so it was putting it in there and it was taking it out, but I broke something in the way it saves it on. You saw that John script where it saves it, flows it through, and because it broke on the save, and well, because it broke on the game instance, it then broke on the save. I know that's not very helpful of a description, so let me show you. So now, see, you've got the equipment information. I really don't need all these different things. I could glean a lot of this from I probably just need info, the struct, and I could pull the class now. But this, for simplicity's sake, was essentially like that. So it wasn't saving it. It wasn't putting it into game instance, and then the game instance wasn't putting it into the save game object, and then it wasn't loading it from the same game object, or the game instance when you go into a new level. So it was not populating the equipment classes to say, hey, I've got this equipped, and that's why it wasn't populating the slots. I will showcase it actually working in a minute. interaction range on door too big. Yeah, it was just too big. I just shrank the collision, and it hasn't caused any problems since shrinking the collision. I might need to tweak it because of, well, as you can see, that's got an interaction. That should be a bit more there. If you're wondering why things look a little different from the last time, this is because this is a 3D mesh and I've been like that. Oh, that's not helpful. It is that. Say 3D mesh now rather than 2D. So I'm in the process of turning them all to 3D, which is this branch. I've just done the first level. So that's why it looks a little bit different. Right. Autosaves last level instead of current level, same as that one. But yeah, long time apart. Saves do not store play start information. Yeah, it just didn't store it. It just didn't store it. I never included it. Like as you can see, I feed it through on the autosave, but I didn't reference it properly. It definitely worked on the autosave, but there was occasions where it was unpredictable. Honestly, I'm not doing well describing these bugs today. It worked for the autosave because it worked move between levels, but it was, yeah, there was occasions where it just didn't work. Because it's been a few days since I've done all this, I've forgot the bug stuff, but the main thing is I'm logging that I've crushed them, so it's no longer a problem. I'll try to do the video sooner to completing the branch next time, and then I'll be a bit more, have a bit more clarity. Then we have credits, decrease credits, not decreasing. Yes, it is in inventory. This we want currency, decrease credits. I don't really need that now. No, it wasn't this. It wasn't this. Where have you gone? I'm going to give up and search it. Interesting. One second. I know, I'm looking in the wrong place. It's in the communication widget. It's one of the more recent things I've done. Not this one. Is it the text? Is it the option? Oh, I know where it is. Oh my god, I'm going around the houses today. It is in communication. It's in the base dialog. It is not in the base dialog. It is in Sarah's dialog. There we go. So it is the inventory reference where you saw me go to the credits, but I don't use it there. Not for what this bug is talking about. So I get it where at some point during the dialogue, there's a rand value, and she's like, "Can you give me credits?" And credits is its rand value. Yes, no. And it checks to see whether you have enough credits, and then it feeds it through, and then it then does a decrease credits. So it was this, the first thing I looked at. This was a plus, that was it. This was a plus. So then, not entirely my fault. When I did a tutorial a very long time ago, they did it as a plus, and then when they just did the credits, they did like minus credits that way. And I was like, kept it. So I've scrapped that now. So that's sorted. That's sorted forever. GI, right, the main thing. So the main good stuff, all this. Here we go, finally. So we have autosave, we have normal save, and we have load. Let's start with autosave. Autosave works when you go into a room, or you open a door. Autosave, you enter a room. Well, let's actually not open a door. Whenever you open a door, it triggers an autosave with your current information, and then it logs the room you're going into, so here. And that's how the autosave now knows what level you're going into. It's set to what level you're going into, and the player starts you're going to rather than where you're from and where you started from. That's the difference. You see, there we go. That's the old way. I should have just pointed that out ages ago. Right, so let's highlight it. Long way. Long way was lots of individual variables like max ammo set game instance dot max ammo, and then current fire mode set, and then do like a set game instance equals current fire mode, and then do that all for the game instance, and just do that and that and that and that round and round and round. Madness. But it worked when I got it working first time, when I've never done it before, a while ago. This uses structs. Structs are here. They're nothing fancy really. Here we go. So then I just add variables, and then you see I just do a placeholder for each one, say what they are. When I connect, this is an sJohn struct. When I put sJohn into the game instance, you look on the right when I click on it, these are all null by default. So I've populated the ones where you see there's actual numbers in, like that. Well, they're all zeros technically, these ones, they're floats. But you can see I've populated the health, stamina, max stress, max infection. That's the default. That is stored in the struct. When you autosave, if we just ignore inventory and level struct and we look at John struct, when you autosave, you get all your information and you get all this current blueprints information, these variables, just like you did originally, and you set the struct, which holds a placeholder for all of these, and the struct is held on the game instance. So if I do this to limit it, like that, the game instance holds these three structs, and all this information is fed into the structs rather than individual variables going down. The save game, if I just get it to show you side by side, character save, drag that over to the game instance, you see it's very similar. Obviously I've got like the save slot stuff. It's very similar. So they both have John, inventory, level, quest, storage. Because you'll see, after I've saved the inventory and the level information and the player information, I then get the time information. That goes into the game, the save game object. I then get the quest information, that goes to a quest struct. This will need a v2. This is not my doing. This was very fancy, complex stuff. Referenced it when I did a quest branch, the tutorials. Then you see, from the game instance, get John, inventory, level. So John, inventory, level. We've just set it with the brand new fresh variable update. But then we get it after we've set it, and then we set the save game instance. So the game instance versions of John is then fed to the save game instance version of John. Reason for this, game instance is like game, like runtime. What would you say? Not volatile. Essentially, it's not volatile at runtime. So you start the game, your game instance is fresh. You go play the game non-stop for 2 hours. If it hasn't crashed and you're still playing the game, your game instance is still with valid information. But the moment you stop the game, you load a game, quit a game instance is wiped. Then that's where the save game object comes in, because the save game object essentially works like a game instance but has a save slot. Then that save slot is then loaded when you load the game, and that loads it in my case, it loads it back into the game instance, and then the game instance loads it back into the game. So the reverse of this, to load save this way, left to right, load right to left. So that's the concept of it and why you need both. You could technically just have a save game object. Nowhere that's sensible. You need game instance is the best way. So then saves it to a slot. It's slot 0 because it's auto. So that's top one. And then let's do save to slot, but you are picking the slot. So this isn't you going into accessing a door and it triggering an autosave. This is you going to the save menu and triggering the save. You see, it's very similar. Identical. All identical actually, except from, that's the same, except from slot, because you are picking the slot. Right, load. Oh, this is easy peasy, this one. You load slot, load from the slot, cool. Save game object, okay. If it doesn't fail, from the save game object, get the inventory, the level, John, your character, the quests, the storage. Get it from, I know it says set, but because it's not set in here, and that's the set. Left side, right side is a get. So I'm getting these structs from save game object, and I'm setting the instance, the game instance versions of them. So as you remember, like I said, left to right. So this was game instance feed into save game object. This is now save game object feed into game instance, which then goes the save game object, the game instances version. So remember, the save game object has fed it to the game instance. Great, and now the game instance on begin play of your character feeds it back in. And now look at this, bananas, but radically shrank. If you remember the previous branches, it was, come on, don't make me do it all day. It was like that, even longer, and now it's that, and I could definitely condense it. I just wanted to get it working. So level information, there you go, there's level information being fed back into the variables, and you've got your information being fed back into you. Then you have your quest information being fed back into you. The storage information is fed back into the storage, so not you. The inventory information is fed back into the inventory, which you're in charge of, but it's a component of you. Not a component. I can't remember. It's not a component. It used to be here. Version 1 was here. Version 2, essentially, it's bonded to you. So when you create it, you see, they get the inventory information and it feeds that in. And then when you load the inventory up, it then gets the inventory information again. Like this inventory information is to set it up. So you see how many slots, what your hotkeys, all the bits and bobs. When you pick stuff up, how long is it visible for, all that sort of stuff. That's setting the scene, setting the widget. This is inside the blueprint that widget uses. It's then feeding the information to the actual values, and goes da 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 da. So simplified the whole process. That deactivated number 1. Yep, it no longer says hi John above the version 2 integration widget. Added rotation variable. Yeah, and then I got rid of all the event dispatches. At least I'm in the process of. So really, I should have added that extra in. That was just me being a do-gooder, and I noticed it was missing, so I might need it in the future. Migrate, save, and load structs. Yep, you've seen that. Refactor this. Yes, so this one. This bit on overloaded. So you know if you're overloaded, slow your walk speed. Brilliant, fine. But I did, so that's in a function. But the bit before it, this bit wasn't in a function. So I'm like, why have I done that? So I dump this into a function, and I do a bit. I get it to log the normal walk speed before I overwrite the normal walk speed. And then, obviously if you're not overloaded, then go back to the normal walk speed. This will trigger every time weight changes, so it should pop off and pop on depending on when you're carrying stuff. Yeah, that's that. I'll give it a little playthrough. Okay, let me let's play it like this. Let's full screen it. Let's get rid of that. Oh, come on, like that. That's a little bit better. Right, so what should I show you? Right, we'll look at equipment. So, equipped and equipped. Okay, so we've got that. We've got, let's get that stamina kit. Let's put that in there. So remember, stamina kit's in there. It is a medium, a small. And we've equipped the weapon and the bulletproof armor. I'm going to fire the gun. So now we've got 10 rounds and 23. So let's go into this one. Still haven't fixed the door animation since I broke it. We've got 10 and 23. We've still got the equipment. We can unequip it. We can re-equip it. I need to make that ammo widget disappear when appropriate. And let's go back in. We are expecting a stamina small in that dresser and nothing else. You see the weapons have come back. All the stuff, I haven't done that yet. There you go. That's that. Nice and neat. I don't think I can go over the weight limit anymore. But you know what? Let's be a bit crazy. I know it's really dark. I need to sort out the lighting. The 3D level has made it even darker. Let's dump everything in. Done. Let's close that. Let's inject that.
You healed, boy.
There we go. Stamina comes back quicker. Nice. Let's use all our stamina up.
You healed, boy.
Technically, you're damaged, so you should say the opposite. Let's go in here. We should expect the health and the stamina to be. There we go. Danger. Nice and neat. Oh, I used this shutter again by accident. And we go through here. The main thing we're looking for here is persistence. So, health, yes. Still full. Oh, it's lovely when it works, isn't it? Go like that. I should not be able to press the light switch from that far away. There's always a new bug, isn't there? Right, 3D. Perspective mode. Still way too dark. That's where they walk. So we've got 2D. 2D with a 3D level background, well 3D level, and we've got 3D with a 3D level. Much better. So let's go into a 2D level. Oh god, I know what's happened here. Okay, the reason why it was super bright is because I've been tweaking it to get the brightness right on the 3D level, and obviously the 2D levels share wall light type A. So it's all related. So, well, it's actually master point light. So I've changed master point light, and then this has changed this. It looks okay here, but then it doesn't look okay there. That is pretty much it for the showcase. At some point, I am wanting to have item persistence, NPC persistence, and enemy persistence. That is on the list. If we look on the right, so I'm doing this one now. I've done the first one. I was going to show you it then, but nah, I'm going to have to keep it appropriate for the next branch. Ambient music, finally get some music going. Slots, yeah, add in extra slots, easy peasy now I've figured that out. I've already gone through most of these, so I'll skim it. Yep, traits, you can pick your traits, like placeholder, just test it if you pick your traits on my main menu. Intro, so like a classic intro to the game. Just crush some more bugs. 140 by 140 pixels for the 2D items, because while the levels will be 3D going forward, the items and the players and everything else inside it will be 2D. Very much the opposite of classical games like Resident Evil, which had 3D models, 3D characters, 2D backgrounds, 2D levels. I will have 3D levels, 2D characters, 2D items. Just because it sounds cool and it looks nifty, and it'd be good to bounce between true 3D when I do perspective camera rather than a makeshift 3D that I've cobbled together. At least true 3D in the sense of the level bounds. Sort out the transition levels. You add some light in, make it a bit more realistic. I said before, if I use that door here and there's light above it, I want that light to persist when it does that transition, go through the door level. If it's dark, I want it to be dark. If, I don't know, one day I make blood appear on it, I want blood to appear on it, you know, that sort of thing. Migration to enhanced input. Yeah, I'm still using the old school way of doing the inputs in, I think, project settings. Definitely need to port it over. Animation, yeah, Paper ZD, animation blueprint version 2. There has to be a way to do a parent-child process, like a master and then like the children of it process. Currently it's not, and it took forever, and there has to be a way where I could just use like a generic actor in a soft object variable or just like a classic object variable, so the light blue or the blue, and then just force it to be that NPC or that enemy actor type. Spell that wrong. Migration from data assets to data assets. Yeah, they've invented data assets now, so rather than storing all information on data tables or on individual blueprints, you can use data assets. I think they come up as purple. I saw some video about it, so this is January, by the way, so we're talking well into the future. Port that over. It's supposed to be more performant rather than having to look through rows of data. Persistent enemies and NPCs and enemies, yep, talks about that. Persistent levels. Persistent levels will be if Sarah finishes her patrol here, on there, I want you to load that level back up, and she's still there. I don't want her to be back to her default position doing a thing. If you have collected this and that's gone, I want that to be gone. Obviously, we've already got item persistence in the storage, so I just need to do item persistence in the level. Structs, I'm thinking structs are the way forward. Log structs for each one of the levels, maybe have it in like level blueprints, and then use the level blueprint to pinch from the game instance, and then set to the game instance when you leave a level, and then pinch from the game instance, like level count. If you've already been in this level, use these level variables from this game instance, else use the level variables on this level. Almost identical process is what I have in my mind. So that's January. In terms of right now doing this, in terms of when it's going to get finished, I'm moving house in a couple of weeks. Second week of September, I'd say. If I do it right and I don't rush it, and then I'll jump straight into ambient music, and then that'll be fun. I'll just do some generic music. I could spend all year doing music, really. I'm gonna have to learn a bit of music theory, all that cool stuff. That one should be pretty quick. That one shouldn't be too difficult, really. I'll just stick a widget on it, have you like click some buttons, a couple of images, and then you click that, and then I say like, if I don't know, like extra health trait, it won't be named that, but essentially if it gave you extra health, then you could just do max health equals max health plus this trait, and then boom, you've got max health, and then that logs it all the way through, easy peasy. That's what I'm thinking, that's my thought process. That's an extra bit I've added into these videos. I know at the end of the branch I go through the next branches. I kind of complete one, add one, complete one, add one. Sometimes add two or add three. I'm thinking going forward I will talk about the next month in more detail. So you see I just talked about September in more detail. A month's worth of branches ahead. Just to give you a bit of an insight rather than it just being, oh, he's figured it out sort of mentality. Yep. So thank you for your time. I'm going to crunch through all these different 3D levels. It will be fun, that branch. I'm using Blender and like a Python extension to do like a called transmat and that sort of stuff. Yeah, you'll like it. So thank you for your time, and I shall see you in a couple of weeks. Bye bye.